Welcome everyone to the TD SportsPress podcast. We're back here on this Sunday evening, excuse me. We have a full show that we're going to be getting into. A lot of great details we're going to get into. As you guys can see on the screen, the first thing we're talking about here is Kyle Winningham. Well, then we'll talk about the Michigan coaching search, where are they at there. Then we'll be predicting 2 college football games, which I'm excited to get back to. That's what we're doing. 2 college, playoff games. They should be really good games. We'll be talking about that as the show goes on. So we're going to take this moment right now and let you know that we have hit 15,000 on TikTok. Thank you guys. That's amazing. Like I said, our TikTok is just TD SportsPress. It'll be right there for you. And YouTube, we just hit 30 subscribers. So it's been a really good time around here. Our goal is to hit 30 subscribers before Christmas, and we did that on YouTube. So thank you to everyone there. Make sure you guys leave a thumbs up on the video. Share it to your friends, anyone that likes college football, because I think that, like I said, we talk college football 365 days of the year. So with that being said, let's get right into our show tonight. So we're going to start right where it says it at here. Kyle Winningham steps down at Utah. Kyle Winningham is probably one of the best coaches of all time in the nation. I know that some people might be saying Kyle Winningham. He's been at Utah since Urban Meyer was there. He was the defensive coordinator for Urban Meyer, and then he took over in 2006, I want to say 2007. And, back then Utah was in the Mountain West, and now they're in the Big 12. They were in the Pac-12 by Kyle Winningham. Urban Meyer did a really good job, but, Utah didn't really get on the map until they beat Alabama in the Sugar Bowl. I think that was in 2008 in my memory, and they really did. They were the BCS Busters back in the day. I know some people might know what that is. Maybe we have some new viewers who have no idea what I'm talking about. That's okay. But, you talk about the impact. When you think about Utah football, you think about the offensive line, the defensive line. They're going to be tough and physical. The defense is going to be physical. They're just going to pound you, So Utah really was, the dying breed of college football, I like to say, where it's just they were so physical, and they were going to out-physic you, and they were going to run the football. And you look at this, the success they had in the Mountain West, and they went to the Pac-12, or it was Pac-10, but then to the Pac-12. You see what Kyle Winningham did there. They went to they won some Pac-12 championship. They were in the title game. They played in 2 Rose Bowl games. They didn't win any, but he had a really successful career at Utah. And I think that he might get overlooked in talks of who's the best coaches of all time. But I feel like Kyle Winningham needs to be on that list. And like I said, he seriously transferred. Urban Meyer started, but Kyle Winningham kept it going. And as we know, or as you guys might have heard of on Big Noon Kickoff with Urban Meyer, he told Utah that to hire Kyle Winningham. Urban Meyer had faith in Kyle Winningham, and Urban Meyer was right. Utah is a football school, and Kyle Winningham had a great career at Utah. And, he's going to do great things. He's a, grandpa, all those great things. But, man, when you can't think of Utah football without Kyle Winningham and what he built. He built that. He built that place. So, the funny part is he played at BYU. I don't know if any of you guys knew that, but fun fact that Kyle Winningham played his college football at BYU. But he coached at Utah. But there's actually a lot of people going both ways in the programs that go to BYU and then they, coach at Utah, or they play at Utah and coach at BYU. It's actually kind of fascinating when you look at the rosters. But like I said, and he owned the BYU Utah rivalry. Kyle Winningham won 11 in a row, if I remember right. He really dominated that rivalry when he coached. Probably a top 2 coach in Utah I can think of. Lavelle Edwards is up there, and then Kyle Winningham. So, and he won 2 Pac-12 championships as well. So, great career for Kyle Winningham. Did a great job. So, who is going to be the next coach of Utah will be their defensive coordinator, and it's kind of been in the works. Kyle Winningham said 2 years ago when he retires at Morgan will be the head coach, and man, he's a physical guy. He played at Utah, and man, he's a physical. When you think about defense, that's why their defense was so good, was because of Morgan. He did a great job with the defense, and I think that Utah, their fans might have been looking forward to this, because I know some fans in the Big 12 are happy. Finally Utah, they're gonna be average, but I think they might have waken a beast in Morgan. Man, he's gonna be a great head coach. I'm excited to see what Utah football does. I don't think there's gonna be much of a going from here to here. I think it's, wherever it is, man. I'm excited to see what he does, and but like I said, Kyle Whittingham stepped down at Utah. He did not retire. There's a difference between the two. I think that in his contract that Kyle Whittingham was going to be a special assistant, kind of like how Bruce Pearl is an ambassador for Auburn. So he will still have some capacity in the front office of football just to help Morgan. I mean, it's hard to run a program with NIL and everything like that. So definitely wish the best for Kyle Whittingham. He was amazing for football. And college football in general. So great career, Kyle Whittingham, and thank you for all you did for the Utah University, because they did a lot for him. So, that's our first segment of the show there. So, moving on, the Michigan coaching update. As you guys know, on our last podcast on Thursday was the same day that Sharon Moore was running wild for whatever that. I don't even want to get into that, but Sharon Moore was fired with cause. And we're here Sunday night, so the updates that it's either that it was either going to be Kalen DeVore or Kenny Dillingham, Kenny Dillingham. Excuse me, my language. And it looks like DeVore is out of it. I thought it was kind of funny. If you guys didn't see a statement today, he said that he has never had contact from another school for this playoff run. What people don't realize is the coaches don't talk to the schools. The agents do that. So was he lying? No, he wasn't lying. His agent was talking to the schools, and to Penn State for that matter. He was right, but I don't think people think that deep. His agents and people around him were talking to those schools. Kenny Dillingham is actually really interesting to Michigan. We kind of talked about this on Thursday. As that's probably 1A with John Gruden, but Kenny Dillingham, he had that emotional press conference for Arizona State yesterday. Oh, he's not leaving. I guess you got to take him for his word. He's not leaving Arizona State. We'll see. Does money talk? We'll see, because Michigan has plenty of it. So we'll see where Michigan goes from here. But, Kenny Dillingham looks like he's staying. We'll see if that ends up happening. That'd be a huge retain for Arizona State, first off. But where would Michigan go if Kenny Dillingham doesn't take it? And I think that the Washington coach Fish is a great coach for Washington. That's a name to watch out for. Joe Brady, I know this might not sound crazy, but Joe Brady, the quarterback's coach for Bills, he might be the offense coordinator now. He would be a great coach in Michigan. But I know that he's been in some NFL rumorings, but those are kind of those two. And like I said, I think you got to give an interview to John Gruden to see where his head's at. Because I think that John Gruden would do a great thing at that program. So that's kind of where the Michigan coaching update is. I think it's Kenny Dillingham's if he wants it. The problem is I don't know if he wants it. I think there's an offer in front of him to take it or not. I really do believe that from what I've been hearing. So we'll see what happens from that. So. We'll be very interested what comes from that. But that is the Michigan coaching update as of right now. Moving on, we're going to get into the first playoff game. We got playoffs this Saturday, and I think we're going to have a great playoff so it's going to be great. So we're going to start off with the Friday night game. Number 9, Alabama is going to number 8, Oklahoma. Let's see their road to the playoff. Number 9, Alabama started off the season on a low. They got beat by Florida State to start the year. A lot of people were doubting them. And they responded. Had a great thing. And then they had they beat Georgia on the road. They won like 4 in a row or 5 in a row that were really good. And then they got beat by Oklahoma. And the best thing about that Oklahoma game is Alabama had 2 times the total offense that Oklahoma had, but Oklahoma had more turnovers. They created more turnovers. Their defense won them the game. And then Alabama, they barely beat Auburn, and then they got beat by Georgia in the SEC championship game where they weren't even competitive. It wasn't competitive. I know it was like 28-7, but it seriously was one side. And Alabama didn't cross like the 50-yard line in the first half, I remember, right? So, or it was one time, one of the two. It was something crazy like that. Let's look at number 8 Oklahoma's road to the playoff here. Number 8 Oklahoma, they their road to the playoff was kind of crazy. So if you guys remember, one of my bold predictions was Oklahoma to make the playoff. So I felt really great when Oklahoma made the playoff. That's one of my bold predictions that I had. I also picked Alabama to win the national championship, so we'll see if that still happens. But number 8, Oklahoma, I mean, they started the year on fire. John Mateer was probably the Heisman favorite through week 2 or week 3. Then he hurt his hand, and then Oklahoma got beat by Texas. And, yeah, they got beat by Texas. Oklahoma did. Then they they went and beat Alabama. And they did get beat by Ole Miss, so they are 10-2. And, Brent Venables, that defense is wild. That defense, that's really, Brent Venables, I know it's hard to say now, but he was really on the edge of getting fired. I really do believe that there was a lot of pressure at Oklahoma to get the job done this year, and they did. They made the playoffs, and they're hosting a playoff game in Norman. I mean, that's going to be an incredible atmosphere. I think a lot of people are looking forward to that. It should be an amazing game. Looking forward to that. And, so let's talk about the matchup itself. Let's look at number 9, Alabama. They've been facing some injuries, but Nix and what version of Alabama are we going to get in this game? Are we going to get the version that we had before midseason? Ty Simpson firing on all cylinders. Is Alabama going to have a run game? I've always felt like Alabama's a run game away from being a national championship contender. If they run, I honestly believe if they run for 100 yards, they're going to win the game. And that's in any game. They just can't do it. They had -3 rushing yards against Georgia. So that's the key for Alabama. I feel like the key in this game for Alabama is they need to run the football. Some way, somehow. I know they got a couple of guys on the offensive line banked up, but man, they got to figure out how to run the football against this Oklahoma defense. Like I said, Alabama's offense had double the yards that Oklahoma had. They just had too many turnovers. They can't turn over the football. Ty Simpson threw if I remember right, Ty Simpson threw a pick in the red zone for a pick 6, or they were going in to score, one of the two. So yeah, they got to take better control of the football. And then we talk about number Oklahoma. The keys for the game for Oklahoma is their offense. I have no problem in their defense. Can their offense score more than 17 points? If the answer is yes, they're going to go far in this tournament. If it's no, then they might be done on Friday night. That's seriously what it's going to come down to. Oklahoma, like I said, we did their season review kind of, and Oklahoma's offense is the biggest question mark. Like Alabama's rush game is the biggest question mark for Alabama. Oklahoma's is can they get their offense going? That's a really crucial point for Oklahoma to get that going. Their defense, like I said, their defense is going to create turnovers. Can they create the amount of turnovers that they had against Alabama? It's going to be the real question. So this is going to be a great game. I'm excited for this game. It should be a great game at Norman on a Friday night. So, we kind of talked about X's and O's. It's going to come down to, it really is going to come down to, it's going to be, like I said, just looking at this, who am I going to pick? Number 9, Alabama is going to number 8, Oklahoma. The ESPN analytics has this at a 50-50. I think Alabama's like a 50.2 and Oklahoma's 49.8. So this is really seriously a pick 'em. And it's going to come down to, what do I trust more right now? Do I trust Oklahoma's offense to score more than 17 points, or do I trust Alabama to find their midseason form? That's what this game is going to come down to on Friday night. And I'm going to take Alabama on the road. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take Alabama on the road. I know it sounds crazy. I know what Alabama's looked like. That just shows you how much I don't trust Oklahoma's offense and John Mateer right now. What they did against LSU, and I know LSU has a great defense coordinator, is awesome. But what they did against LSU's defense, they had 3 picks. And if you watch it, John Mateer was just throwing in no-no spots in the defense. He was throwing it in the blind spots. He was throwing it in between coverages. He couldn't read coverages. I do not trust Oklahoma's offense. And you look at it, can Oklahoma's defense get 3+ turnovers again? Or maybe it was 2, if I remember. I don't know the answer to that right now. I think that Alabama's going to win this game. I really do. I believe in Alabama. I really do believe that they will win this game on the road. I think it's going to be a great game. I'm excited for it, first off. Should be a great game. And I think Alabama's going to win this game. I know that might upset some people, but I know what they look like. I'm going to trust Alabama more than Oklahoma. That just shows you how much I don't trust Oklahoma's offense. That's seriously what the whole game is going to come down to. So should be a good game regardless. Moving on So that's our first playoff prediction. Like I said, guys, if you're to this point, you might as well subscribe and give us a thumbs up. It would really do a lot for the channel. Let's try to get 5 thumbs up on this video. It would really do a lot for us just to get out to more people. I feel like more people get out to us, the better that this product will be. I really do believe that. So with that being said, we are on the next game. Number 10, Miami is going to number 7, Texas A&M. Let's look at the season of reviews for Miami. Look at Miami, start off the year hot. They beat Notre Dame. They beat Notre Dame at home. That was a huge game for Miami. And then Miami, they had the midseason lulls. I think they lost 2 or 3, if I remember right. They got beat by Louisville. Carson Beck threw like 3 or 4 interceptions. They got beat by SMU on the road. They should have won that game. They got beaten overtime, and they got in. They were outside looking in until the very last week. Number 7, Texas A&M. They looked really good. They looked really good at the start. Beat Notre Dame by 1 point, and then you look at Notre Dame. They hit a plateau, I would say, at the end of the year. Their defense, they were down 31-0 to South Carolina. I don't even know how that's possible at halftime, but they found a way, or 30-0, but they found a way to win. That's all that matters at the end of the day. And then you look at, they struggled against Texas. Texas came out and just whooped them. Texas whooped them. So you can call it what you want. That was a good old-fashioned butt kicking in Austin. So what are the keys to the game here? The keys to the game for number 10 Miami is Carson Beck. Carson Beck needs to take care of the football. When Carson Beck is at his best, he is not throwing. You got Tony. He's a great receiver for Miami. Utilize him. The Louisville game, I think he had 4 interceptions, if I remember right. You look at number 7 Texas A&M. What are their keys to this game? Their defense. What are we going to get from Texas A&M's defense? That's what the whole game is going to come down to. Is like I said, the lock to this game for a team to undo the lock and win the game and go and play next round against Ohio State is going to be the matchup between Miami's offense versus Texas A&M's defense. That's what this game is going to come down to. I think Texas A&M's a 3.5-point favorite at this, but man, that I can't tell you that this game will be won on Miami's offense or Texas A&M's defense. One of those two need to show up. Miami's normally has a really good offensive line, so we'll see if that comes or happens here. And man, this game's going to be a Kyle Field, but I will say they really missed an opportunity. This game should be played at night. I think that a lot of people from Texas A&M would agree with me. So who am I going to pick here? Man, these 2 games here I've been going back and forth on. And this is going to sound crazy. I know it might. I'm going to go with Miami to win on the road. I think they're going to go to Kyle Field. I trust Miami's offense more than Texas A&M's defense. And that might, bite me in the butt come when we do our reaction show on Sunday. It seriously might. But I really, really do think that Miami's going to go on the road and win. I just don't trust Texas A&M. They have not looked good at the end of the year. Yes, Miami does have 2, bad losses, but I felt like they've looked better at the end of the year. Like they've gotten better. I feel like Texas A&M's gotten worse since they beat Notre Dame. I've not like Marcel Reed, like he really struggled against, and granted it was Texas. I think that was a really good team, but man, I really do like Miami to win this game. Move on and go and play Ohio State. And man, yeah, I think these 2 games are going to be great. Yeah, I think those are going to be 2 great football games. And like I said, we'll do the final 2 games. We'll do that on Thursday. Like I said, our podcast is on Sundays and Thursdays. So we'll have our Sunday episode Thursday. Well, I think Michigan will have a head. I'd be shocked if Michigan didn't have a head coach by then, unless they're going to get someone from the playoff. Maybe that's what they're holding out for. I don't know what they're holding out for. But yeah, like I said, going to be a great weekend of college football. Super excited. There's some bowl games going on throughout the week as well. Bowl games are awesome. Like I said, once we get to the off season, I will be giving you some things that I wish college football would do. Kind of as if I was the commissioner. I know that Josh Pate, he would make a great commissioner. I love listening to Josh Pate. He's actually really inspired me to do what I'm doing right now with zero, any following. So he's a great person. If you guys don't, free shout out for Josh Pate. But yeah, this is gonna be a great, great Friday and Saturday of college football. A lot of great games, a lot of great offenses and defenses, and we'll see what happens. But with that being said, I think we're gonna end the podcast here. Like I said, guys, go check us out on TikTok. follow us on YouTube. We're on X. I post on X all the time, some clips. We are on Spotify as well. So if you need a good podcast to listen to for a commute, I mean, it's always around 20, 25 minutes. So it's perfect for a commute. I know I hate it sometimes when I'm like listening to a podcast and I have to get out of the car because it's so long. We try to stay between 20 and 25 minutes. We'll see. Maybe in the off season we will have to adjust. That's what all great programs do, is they adjust. Maybe we need to adjust the show. But with that being said, have a great Sunday night. We'll see you back here on Thursday.